what's up everyone? It's your girl Brain Shanae, and today I'll be doing the mid-year book Freakout tag, which I cannot believe, like literally it's July and literally we're already pretty much almost done with 2021 already. I still cannot believe that, but I say that on every time I do this Freakout tag every year. It's just crazy how each year goes by so quickly. And like I see my kids growing up and it's just amazing. And like I hope that more happiness is to come throughout this year. And you know, we go into the new year, everything will just be great. Just like with the pandemic and everything, hopefully things will come together and we start living more of a normal life, have more normalcy. Hopefully that'll happen. If not, you know, we'll see in the years to come what our future will look like, but I'm praying and hoping for the best. But anyways, let's go ahead and get started with these prompts. So the first one is, of course, best book you've read so far in 2021, and I'm gonna go with Ace of Spades by Farida Abike-Yamide. Oh my gosh, I loved it so much. I did a full review about it, which was like 21 minutes long, which I'll leave that up above if you want to check out that review. But I loved this book so much. I love the main characters. I love Devon. I love Chiamaka. I loved everything about this book. I rated it 5 out of 5 stars because I love this. Like, I was not expecting this to be one of the best books I've read this year, and it just blew my mind away. Where like when it talks about institutional racism, which is still current for today, it just brings up a lot of topics and issues that as well as being Black in America, you know, the trauma and what we go through on a regular basis. And then when you go to a school that you're the only Black face, the Black person in the school, it just makes it very uncomfortable. And you just try to fit in as the best you can, and then next thing you know, something unexpected happens and you're trying to figure out why someone is trying to destroy me now when I'm trying to do better with my life and go to college and make a difference for myself. You know, like I don't know, but I really enjoyed this book. I loved it. Like I said, I did a full review about it, which I'll leave up in the cards, but definitely a 5 out of 5 stars. So if you have not read this, I suggest you do so. Like, for real, like, read this. Then the second prompt is best sequel you've read so far in 2021. And I'm just gonna let y'all know right now, I have not read any best sequels this year. Like, literally I've read like some of they haven't been sequels, they're mostly been like standalones, and if there are sequels, the sequel has not even come out yet. So no best sequels yet so far for this year. So for the third prompt, the new release you haven't read yet but want to. So there are a couple of new releases that I want to read, or that I'm currently going to read, but I haven't read yet. And the first one is This Poison Heart by Caitlin Barron. I have read her Cinderella's Dead, so I'm looking forward to reading this one. So this is some new releases that I haven't read yet but definitely want to read, which I'll definitely be reading soon this month. So I have that one. Next book that I definitely want to read that's a new release is Bloodlight Magic by Lizelle Samberry. Definitely look forward to reading this. Like, the synopsis is amazing from what I read. A lot of people are loving this book. I believe Bethany from Beautifully Bookish Bethany has also done with her podcast, had pretty much talked to Lizelle about the book and everything like that, and Bethany loved it. So I'm like, I really need to get on it and read this book. So yeah, this is another book, new release, that I just need to read and have not read yet. And the fourth prompt, it says most anticipated release for the second half of the year. And right now I can't like think about it. Like, I know like for the Gilded Wolves, the series, I know the third book is going to be coming out. I forget what it is called. I'll leave that right here. And I'm looking forward to reading that. I haven't read the second book yet, but I'll probably end up reading the second book and the third book together right when the third book comes out. But I just got to read the second book, and I'm looking forward to reading this book right here because I am just so excited about it. It's like, it's historical fiction. It has a lot of history within it, a lot of things that I love because I am a historian and I just love that type of vibe that it's giving me. So Roshani Shashi is amazing and I love her work. So yeah, so that is one of the books I'm definitely anticipating on the second half of this year. So then the fifth prompt, the biggest disappointment. Okay, so my biggest disappointment, let me see, I'm going to go with, and this is a sequel, and I'm going to go with A Queen of Gilded Horns by Amanda Joy. I read A River of Royal Blood and I loved it. I was so pumped to reading this. And after I read this book, I was highly disappointed and like thrown, like my mind was in a loop because I'm like, what? Seriously, this is what this is the conclusion of the duology? Like, this is it? I'm like, no! Like, I was just like, man, seriously? Like, I was looking forward to reading this year, you guys. Like, literally, like, and when I read this, I was, like, thrown in a loop. I'm like, what the heck? Seriously, Amanda, come on, girl. I loved your first book. Why'd you gotta do me like that with this one? So, yeah, this is one of my highly disappointed books that I've read this year, and I was so hopeful that it wasn't going to be, but once I read it, I'm like, man, it sucks. Like, geez, I really wanted to love this book, and I just couldn't. Like, I was reading it, and I'm like, okay, maybe something else will change. Okay, something else will change. And then when I got to the finish line and finished the book, I'm like, okay. All right, yeah. Like, it was to the point where I almost DNF'd it, but I didn't, because I'm like, okay, maybe something else, something good is going to happen. I just need to keep on reading, keep reading. And yeah, it's just not what I expected at all. So this is one of the biggest disappointments that I've read so far in 2021. So we have this book. The 6th prompt is the biggest surprise. And I'm just going to go with this one because this one was the biggest surprise for me. And I really love this book. Like, I didn't know I was going to love it so much. You know, like, I knew I was going to love it, but not to this extent. And like, yes, I feel like this book needs to be read in high schools, which I feel like that's just not going to happen, of course, but I'm hopeful. Or even in colleges, if they read about, you know, they have a certain class or whatever, they read this book because it's definitely good. It's something that, you know, college or high school students should read, because what's happening in this book is true. It's reality. It's still happening today. It's very accurate. So yeah, my greatest and biggest surprise was this book right here. Then the 7th prompt is favorite new author. Right here, Ferida Abike Emide. Favorite author, you guys. I'm hands down has become my favorite author this year. The 8th prompt is newest fictional crush. Now, I do not have any fictional crushes this year, just yet. Maybe later on, second half of this year, maybe. But I haven't had any fictional crushes, so I'm sorry about that. And then the 9th prompt, newest favorite character. I can't say I have favorite characters. I think all the characters was really great. Especially characters in this book, they were really awesome. I'm trying to think. There's a lot of characters that I really enjoyed, but not to that point where, oh my gosh, I love this so much. It wasn't to that degree. So the 10th prompt is book that made you cry. So far, a book has not made me cry yet, surprisingly, because I am a crier. I am a very emotional human being. So nothing has made me cry just yet. I haven't been pouring out with tears yet. So hopefully a book can get me to crack and make me cry. The 11th prompt is book that made you happy. I'm trying to think really hard, a book that made me happy. I loved this book. This is from Book of the Month, Love and Color, which is mythical tales from around the world retold by Lola. And I really enjoyed the love stories in this book. It was I just loved it all together. I also love the love story of Nefertiti. It really made me happy. It really made me joyous, you know, about Black love and everything. Like, I loved it so much. So yeah, I think this book definitely made me happy, and some of the stories that they had in this book. So we had that. And then let me see. The next one is, the 12th prompt is most beautiful book you've bought so far this year or received. So I am a rep for Pug Pages, which is she does a great work. She buys books and she pretty much paints the edges by hand, and she's amazing at what she does. And literally, if you want to check her out, I'll leave a link down below of her website, and also excuse me, my voice tracked. And also, if you want to buy one of her books or the books that she has painted, my rep code is Brandy10, BRANDI10, so that you get 10% off. But this book right here is what I chose. It is Fireborn by Rosaria Munda, and this is a very beautiful book. And I say that because this is what it looks like for the end pages. Like Pug Pages is a really talented at what she does, and it's literally handmade, and it's supposed to pretty much have a reference to the dragons that are in this book. So it's like dragon scales. So yeah, this is the most beautiful book that I have received this year. So yeah, got this. And then 13, what book do you need to read, or what books do you need to read by the end of the year? Yeah, there's a lot of books I need to read for the end of the year. So definitely got to read Bloodlight Magic by LaSalle Sandberry. So that's one book. I definitely need to read and get on it. I need to read Black Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse. I know the second book, I think comes out next year, I'm not sure. But I definitely want to read this book before the year is over. Next book that I plan on reading before the year is over is Cemetery Boys by Aiden Thomas. I was able to get this on sale at Barnes & Noble for 50% off, and so I definitely need to read this. I'm definitely planning on possibly reading this in October because it just goes with, you know, October mood and stuff like that, with being Halloween and stuff, and it's Cemetery Boys, so I figure like this would be a perfect chance, or a perfect time for me to read it would be October. And then let me see, I think that's all the books so far that I definitely want to read before the end of the year is over. But yes, that is all the prompts, you guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video of mine. Like I said, I still cannot believe like it's already July and the year is almost over. But I've been loving the books I have been reading, some of them disappointing, some of them amazing, some of them surprising. And I look forward to reading more great works from a lot of great authors. But thank you so much for watching, you guys. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. Also hit that subscribe button and that bell to be notified when I upload more videos in the future. But thank you so much for watching, you guys, and please stay healthy and stay safe. See ya.